Alright YouTubers, this is another video using the Telluride, and as you can see, it snowed last night. We actually left the vehicle outside because we hadn't yet rearranged the garage to fit the Telluride. The vehicle, the other vehicle that was in the garage is a little bit shorter, so got to make some adjustments. Anyway, as you can kind of see, we got some snow. My son and I have been taking those out on the road and just kind of testing it in bad conditions. We've actually taken it, right now you're seeing us on treated roads, but we've taken this off onto roads that haven't yet been plowed or any salt laid down, and I can happily tell you that the vehicle seems to sit pretty well on the road even in bad conditions. So let's go through some of the reasons for that, at least in my opinion, and what I understand about this vehicle. So first of all, I have an all-wheel drive version of the Telluride. So if you can pan down here for a second, Reese, you'll notice that there is a shift knob here, and that shift knob gives you several different modes. So at the moment, I think we're in snow mode, if I remember correctly. What this means, you can go ahead and look back up at the road. What this means is you're distributing power between the wheels. So the Telluride, just in its normal modes, is predominantly front wheel drive driven. So if you're in that comfort mode, or I believe even sport mode, what you end up with is about an 80-20 split of power, with 80% of the power going to your front wheels. And then when you shift into, or excuse me, I keep messing that up. Comfort and sport are about a 65-35 split from my understanding. So most of the power is still going to the front wheels. Then when you go into eco and smart mode, those modes are where you're 80% front wheel drive. They're going to give you a better economy. And then there's a button down in the button, which I'm not sure if you noticed that, but inside of there's a little button you can press, and when you press that button, it locks your differential. And what that means in simple terms is that you end up with a 50-50 split between where the power is distributed. That's really good for, off-road situations. You don't really want to use that if the road conditions are tolerable. And the reason for that is that if you turn your wheels like we're doing right now, and driving down the road, if you're not on slippery surfaces, you can actually do some damage to the components of your vehicle that handle the power distribution, simply because front wheels will be spinning at a different rate than the rear wheels, and that differential is intended to actually lock you in 50-50. So long story short, don't press that button unless you're really in bad roads or slick situations where you're kind of getting stuck, maybe not getting as much traction as you really need. At that point, it's good to drive into it. Once you put that on, according to the owner's manual, and don't quote me on this, check it yourself, I believe anything that is below 25 miles per hour would be kind of like being in a 4-low scenario, for those of you that are familiar with just standard 4-wheel drive versus using all-wheel drive. And then once you get above 25 miles an hour, the system will actually take you out of that 4-low mode and actually shift you kind of into an auto 4-wheel drive kind of situation. So that at least explains the mechanical advantages that you get with an all-wheel drive in this kind of weather. And as you can see, we just went kind of a section that hadn't been treated yet, just to give you an idea of what that, how well the vehicle handles. And honestly, no slipping, no nothing. It feels real planted, and that leads me to my next point, which is, when you buy this vehicle, you're also getting a set of wheels. So I've got the 20-inch wheels on here. They're wrapped in Michelin tires, and so you don't know how well those tires are going to perform sometimes until you actually get them out there and go. And worst thing you could possibly do is buy a new vehicle and then realize you absolutely hate your tires because they're horrible in certain weather conditions. And I have to say, under the circumstances, I think these are actually doing really well for, I think these are all season Michelin tires, and I've only had slipping at one point, and that was when we were making a turn to kind of go in towards the Starbucks, and the front wheels just kind of caught a slick patch and slid a little bit, but nothing dramatic, nothing bad at all. So anyway, I hope that gives you some confidence in understanding how well the vehicle can operate in rough weather conditions, and obviously the different modes you can use there. You guys have any questions, concerns, feel free to put something in the comments. And my son and I, we're doing this as kind of like a fun little project for us, so we will gladly reply, or maybe even try and shoot another video when we have some time. And like I said, kind of going into a less treated section of the road here, and just I have yet to really feel uncomfortable or concerned about driving on the road in these conditions. Now we don't have blizzard snow conditions here, but we probably got about 2 or 3 inches. So, all right, y'all. Well, you have a good one. And
also remember to subscribe if you want to see more.
Oh yeah. I should remember to say that, shouldn't I?
Yeah.